building fresh car from the start, so only a chassis plate. Gonna start with the rear suspension. And first gonna use some grease. This is xenon blue grease. I use it for the suspension ball. Like this. I'm building this car for the Euros warm-up race, and this track is quite big, so we already have tested there, and we find out a little bit less towing might work better. So I normally use 1XA and 1E. As you can see, this is 1X, so it doesn't make 3 degree overall towing, but 2.5, just a tryout for coming weekend. To put the block on the chassis, first then the roll center shim underneath. I don't tie it first, I just wait till the whole suspension is on. Basic setup, it's a 3mm shim in the front. Always works best for me. In the back, just fill it up with small shims. Now I use a 0.5 shim and a 0.75 shim. So makes 1.25, because with the 1.5 shim it's a little too tight, and a 1mm shim it's too much play, so I always use this shim. Put the E-block on. Again, first the screws only halfway, not too far, because the roll center shim has to go under. Tied it a little bit. I want to give it a little bit play, so it's all in the middle. And now I will hold it like this, so the block is always straight.
Okay.
And when I tied the front block, I check the play again. Oops. Press it a little bit and tight the rear block. First check it and check the play on both sides, because sometimes one side has more play than another side, and then you can see that the suspension block is not in a straight line with the chassis. Now I tied it maximum, so this is the rear suspension, all free, a little bit play, both sides the same play, perfect. So let's go on with the front suspension. I decided to use a CC block. Most of the time I use CC, so this car I also will build with a CC block. Don't forget to put the belt under it. I'm gonna use a little bit of anti-dive in the front, so normally there's 3mm shim under the block, but now I use 4mm. In front I will use a 0.5mm, so it makes a half a millimeter anti-dive and a little bit higher roll center. So now I don't tight the screw too much, same as the rear blocks. Just wait till I mount the whole suspension. Again, as a basic setup, 2mm in the back. This time I fill it up with 1mm shim, the 0.5mm shim, and again the 0.7. This makes the perfect play again. I think manual says 2.5mm. This is 2.25 and makes better play. 2.5, I think a little bit too much. I don't tie it completely. Now I make it all free. Now put a roll center shim under it. This is 0.5. Now you see this one, not so good, because I tied this one already a little bit too much. This is always a little bit tricky, and this really have to work first, play around with it, then tie it, press it a little bit down. Now I tied the front. And you see perfect free suspension. I don't tie them so much yet. I will do that later. When the top deck is on, I mount them perfect. But now they all have to settle a little bit. Because if you tie them now, the top deck is never in the middle. So they still can play a little bit, but I do that to get the tweak out. So I just put them on, and later on, when the spool and in the rear the diff are mounted and the top deck is on, from there I'm gonna tweak the car and tight all the screws to get rid of any tweak. Okay, so you can see all the bulkheads still a little loose, will come later.